Hey YouTube, it's Faye, and for today's video, I'm going to do a little teardown of this 5VZ engine that I got from Pull Apart many years ago. Now, I actually have no idea the condition of this engine. Now, all I could really do when I was at the salvage yard was I turned the engine over just to make sure that it spun freely. And I also pulled out all the spark plugs, just made sure that they didn't look too bad. Of course, that was a long time ago, like 6 or 7 years ago. And I actually can't remember how bad this engine was. I just remembered that it was bad. Of course, something that I wish I had with me when I was checking out this engine was a borescope so I could actually look inside the cylinders and make sure that this was a decent rebuilder and not just a core. That would have really saved me with the Sequoia that I recently picked up, because I would have been able to tell right away that that engine had a blown head gasket and needed to be repaired. And actually, I did not own a borescope at that time either. I borrowed one from my friend Danny, but now I do have this one from Klein Tools. So let's use it and take a look. So today, I guess before we get started, I'll begin by taking a look inside each one of these cylinders and doing what I wish I had done when I was out there on the yard. Now, another thing that I usually do if I'm purchasing a used engine is I'll do a leak down test. But that's not really something I can do out in the yard with limited tools either. You know, and also removing a valve cover or the oil pan just to look inside of the engine is another thing that you can do real quick just to verify that the engine isn't toast. Either way, I pulled this engine, I have it here now, and I want to tear it down. And also just want to give you some quick tips and tricks while I'm doing it, things that are specific to the 5VZ, and just maybe show you some tools or something. I don't know, whatever. Let's get into it.
Now you can see I already took the timing belt off this engine. I've had this engine for a really long time. I totally don't remember doing that, but oh well. So timing belt is off. I'm gonna remove the roller in between the two cams now. And that is a 14 millimeter. And now I'm gonna remove the cam gears so we can get this plate off. Now there's two ways you can remove the cam gears, and it just depends on what we're going to be doing today. One way involves not removing the valve cover, and the other way does. I'm going to show you both, even though we will be taking the valve covers off today. This is just a generic camshaft or pulley holding tool. There are so many different brands of these. I just picked this one up because I broke my last one. So I'm gonna get these two longer pieces out. So when the valve cover is on, I'm using this pulley holder to hold the cam gear in place while I break the bolt loose with my breaker bar. And here on the other side, I'm gonna remove the valve cover and I can hold the camshaft steady with a 24 millimeter wrench while breaking that cam bolt loose. Next, I'm gonna remove the number 3 timing belt cover with these 6 10 millimeter bolts. And let's remove this other valve cover. Oh my goodness. This was not taken care of. You can see our knock sensors down in there. And we can see our head bolts are down in there, actually underneath the camshaft. So unfortunately, in order to pull the heads, the next thing we're going to do is remove these camshafts. Now there is a trick to this on the 5VZ due to this gear setup. So we've got 2 cams going on per cylinder head, but we only have 1 cam gear in the front that's driven by the timing belt. So our exhaust camshaft is driven by our intake camshaft on both sides. Our intake camshaft is the one that's on the inside, close to the intake manifold, of course, and our exhaust camshafts are closer to the exhaust on both sides. So our exhaust camshafts are gear driven by the intake camshafts. Just change your oil, people. Look how bad that is. Oh! Ah! Oh my God.
Now moving to the back side of the engine here because
I'm going to turn the engine in the direction of rotation until we line up the 2 dots on the back side of both of those cam gears, just like that.
So check this out. Do you see how this gear here on the exhaust side is split? It's actually 2 completely separate pieces, where this gear here on the intake side is just 1 gear. So we're going to install this bolt. This is actually a valve cover bolt. It's an M6 and the thread pitch is 1.0. We're going to put that in the little hole and basically lock these 2 halves of the gear together before we remove the exhaust camshaft. Now, the reason I like to use a valve cover bolt is, first of all, because it's already here, it's already the right size, we already have it. But also, if I was to be reassembling this engine, which looking at it, I'm not sure that I will be, in theory, it would help me to not forget it in the gear because I couldn't install the valve cover all the way without it. All right, so now we have our camshafts properly aligned so that there's no spring pressure on any of these cam lobes, and I've got my service bolt installed on this sprung gear, so we're not gonna have any issues with this popping back and becoming out of alignment for us, even though, like I said, I'm probably not gonna be reassembling this based on the condition of this engine. But anyway, next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna treat it like we are. We always treat it as if it's gonna go back together. So now I'm gonna start removing the bolts on all of these cam caps, and we're gonna do so a very little teeny tiny bit at a time. And there's a certain order to how we do this, which I will put up on the screen right now. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's hard to get my socket on there because it's so dirty, so I'm gonna have to clean those bolt heads off real quick. Okay, and on that last pass, I felt pretty much no pressure at the end, so go back in with some battery power now. Woof, that smell. Now, I know you can't see it because this engine is a mess, but okay, there we go. You can, now that it's starting to come off, that sludge, you can see that all these cam caps are labeled, so you can't mess them up. I mean, you can, but they're labeled for you.
I'll gently push up on the cam with a pry bar, not on the cam lobes, and be careful not to damage the valve cover sealing surface.
Okay, well, now let's do the same for the intake camshaft. Start by clearing the gunk off of these bolt heads so I can actually get a socket on there. And for the intake, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
For each of these loosening sequences, you want to make sure to do several passes, releasing just a little bit of tension with every pass. I typically do 3 to 4 passes before using battery power.
Okay, I'm feeling no pressure there. Sometimes these can be a little tricky to remove, so I'll just put the bolts back in to give myself a little bit of leverage. All right, so now you can barely see the head bolts down in there. Oh my God, let's clear out all this crap so I can actually reach. Oh my God, the head bolts. Now somewhere in here, is it right there? Yes, there is an 8mm Allen head bolt that we've got to pull out now. There's one per side, and here on the passenger side, it's in the rear of the cylinder head. Oh my God, I swear, without the factory service manual, you would have never known it was here. It's just so coated in gunk. Oh my God. Okay, we can see it now. So we're gonna pull that one first. Here I've got my 8mm Allen key. All right, next we're gonna remove this cylinder head. And in the repair manual, it says to do so uniformly in several passes in the sequence shown, and then repeat for the other side. I haven't even started the other side yet, but we're just gonna do one at a time here. So here it shows the front of the engine, and then you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm gonna have this somewhere that I can see, and I'm actually gonna put it upside down so I can see the front of the engine. And then looking at this one, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I've got a 12mm 12-point socket here, and I've just got this on an adapter because I want to put it on my big handle breaker bar, and I only have this in 3/8. 1. Just loosen it a little bit at a time. In several passes, people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, and back to 1. It's starting to get pretty loose, so this might be last one or second to last one. Yeah. Call that good. Yep, rear washer. Dang, I think all these washers are just stuck in the cylinder head. Okay, fine. Now you see where I like to leave this on. Nice little handle. Eee! Oh yeah, that is what we saw with the borescope at the beginning of this video. I have no idea what all that is. It just looks like a bunch of bugs in there. Yeah, I'm gonna say that is a bunch of bugs and oil and coolant. More bugs and a bunch of oil and coolant. All right. You know, looking at the head gasket though, the head gasket does not appear to be blown, and the cylinders actually look okay. Okay, let's get the other one off. And on the driver's side cylinder head, we've got that 8mm bolt in the front of the engine, and you can barely see it right there. Let's uncover it. All right, there it is. And here on the driver's side cylinder head, you can see that I've lined up one dot on each side, as opposed to the passenger side, we had 2 dots on each side. But I did the same thing, putting a 24mm wrench here on the intake camshaft and rotating it until we get to that point where these 2 are lined up. And just like on the other side on this exhaust camshaft gear, we've got our little 10mm bolt that we're going to install to lock those 2 gear halves together. Clean all the crap off my bolts so I might actually be able to get a socket on them. Okay, that looks good enough. Once again, we're going to remove all of these bolts in a specific sequence in multiple passes. And you can see I have my repair manual right here, so I can't possibly mess it up, make it so easy for myself. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Oops. Once again, for the intake side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pull this up, use it to press forward. And now for the driver's side cylinder head. Once again, I'm gonna have the instructions right here so that I can see as I'm loosening them. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, pretty much the same as the other side. And of course, don't forget, head warpage or cracking could result from removing bolts in an incorrect order. Once again, let me make sure I can actually access all these. Look at this one, it's just like buried in sludge down in there. Holy smokes. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Starting with 1. And back to 1. That one's spicy. All right, well, 3rd pass. And all right, 4th pass. Oh, 5th pass. Come on, number 8. Okay, all right. Okay, fair. Whoa! Get back here, washer! Okay, because of all the sludge, most of these washers are just stuck in there, but that's fine. It is what it is. We'll get them out if we need to. And of course, I'm seeing, woo, Ooh, some galling there. Ooh, no. That's too much. This one is no bueno. Look at that. Yeah, I don't think we can polish that out. This one's pretty bad too. I think this one is too far gone. We're gonna have to show this to Danny, but I guarantee you that one, this is just, oh yeah, that is so bad right there. There's definitely something wrong with this cylinder head. I guarantee you this one has some warpage for sure. Okay, we got more bugs. Cylinders look great. Man, that kind of makes me mad because all those 7Ms that I've been collecting over time, they're all pitted and just crappy. And this one was clearly abused and yet gorgeous cylinders. Oh man, life is so unfair. All right, well, I mean, no, let's not be mad. We've got a great block here. So I'll get the crank pulley bolt back on. Let's turn it over and let's check and see the condition of these other 2 cylinders before we assume anything. Dang! Check that out. You can even still make out the cross hatching on there. I mean, there's like a little bit of a, no, it's not even that bad. I can't, my fingernail can't even catch that. Man. All right, well, we've got a great block. That's killer. I mean, the miles on this thing were low-ish for, well, I mean, anything under 300,000 is low for these. Man, I wish that half the 7Ms I picked up, the blocks looked as good as this. I'm gonna take a quick little bit of gasket material off here with my plastic razor blade. Ah! Yeah, these are solid blocks, man. This is, all right, well, phenomenal. Sheesh. All right, well, that was a fun little 5VZ head removal tutorial. But I actually think I'm gonna tear this thing down even more because I think I actually, surprisingly, have a good block here. Overall, I'm not upset that I took the time to pull this and bring it home. I think we have some wins here. At the very least, I have a bunch of spare stuff for a future engine build. I will say though, if I had taken the time to pull the valve covers off in the yard and had seen the condition of the inside, just see that someone had neglected the maintenance on this, I probably would have passed. I probably would not have taken the time. So the feral cats are fighting. Where was I? No, I'm glad I pulled this. I'm very glad that I pulled this. I think I might have one good cylinder head. I think the other head is bad. I do though love pulling pieces off of cylinder head like that, especially like the shim over bucket style, because I like to collect those shims because you never know, you might need them for something in the future. So anyway, that is where I'm going to leave off for today. Let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in seeing more of this teardown. But anyway, all right, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Okay, bye.
Hi, Luna. You want some cabbage?